Usually in my videos, I try to refrain from blasting the sequel trilogies. I try to say something nice about them or just don't say anything really much about them at all. I try to stay neutral. Um, I did not, for the record, I did not like the trilogies. I just thought it was horrible. But I saw an article talking about how Luke really died. If you haven't seen the movies, the sequels, Luke Skywalker dies at the end of The Last Jedi. He just fades away to nothing, which made me so furious. I swore at that time that I would never watch that movie again because they killed my hero. They just killed him. No reason. They just let him go and killed him. Now we'll never see Luke again. Mark Hamill has even said that he's not going to become a Force ghost. He's just turned his back totally on Star Wars. They killed him, and he's ready to move on. And a lot of people are like, "Well, just let him go. Let him go. He wants to enjoy his retirement." Well, he's doing movies still. If you don't know, he's in 2 movies right now that are just released. And he's got more in his pocket that he's going to be doing. I think Disney just totally turned him sour to Star Wars, and I don't blame Mark for being sour on Star Wars right now with Disney. If I was in charge, if Elon gave me all his money and I could buy Disney right now or Lucasfilm, I would totally retcon the last 3 sequels, and I would create a new divergent path that would, consist of the extended universe and everything that was in the extended universe. It would be fantastic. It would have all the twins that the Solos had and their younger son, and Luke would meet Mara Jade, and they would go on adventures, and it wouldn't be this horrific tragedy that was the sequels. But I'm trying not to say too much bad about the sequels. But I saw this article on thegamingbible.com, and it talked about how Luke really died, and it just tweaked me the wrong way, It really did. I want to read it with you. It's kind of short, and I want to read it with you. And this is coming from my heart, I want you to understand, I didn't script any of this. I just saw this article, and I wanted to come on here and talk about it. So let me bring this up. So there he is, Luke Skywalker, right before he dies in The Last Jedi. And it says, Star Wars confirms what really killed Luke Skywalker, and you won't like it. And you won't. Star Wars legend Mark Hamill has confirmed what really killed Luke Skywalker, and you might not like it. Without question, Star Wars is one of the most popular movie properties of all time ever since it made its debut on the silver screen nearly 50 years ago in 1977. 2 more years and it'll be 50 years. Can you believe that? Speaking of which, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy has teased something big ahead of the Star Wars Celebration 2027 in Los Angeles, a year which celebrates the 50th anniversary of the ever-popular sci-fi series. I'm about to go into spoilers for 2017's Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. I know the headline spoils it somewhat, but I'm going to go in a bit more detail as to how Luke Skywalker met his demise. During the battle between the Resistance and the First Order on the planet Crate, Luke Skywalker uses the Force to project himself, deceiving an enraged Kylo Ren, challenging him to an apparent lightsaber duel, giving the Resistance a brief advantage. This projection, while serving its intended purpose, caused a lot of strain to the mind, body, and soul of Luke Skywalker, which ultimately cost him his life in an act of sacrifice. In a lot of ways, this was very befitting of the character because it was a peaceful way to win a vital battle, helping to turn the tide of war. However, while I get the sentiment of his death, It was a very underwhelming way for such a beloved and iconic character to end his time in Star Wars. Albeit, he still became a Jedi ghost, but you get what I mean. But how exactly did using the Force to project himself cause so much strain on Luke Skywalker? As reported by comicbookmovie.com, Mark Hamill has answered that very question. I don't want to make a big pronouncement like, this is my decision. I'm just saying that it really felt like a conclusion, said Hamill. My character was given complete closure. I died, ironically, by overdosing on the Force, I might point out. So there you have it. Luke Skywalker died from having too much of a heavy dose of the Force, something that the character suggested would happen in The Last Jedi, with the character already accepting his fate before the Battle of Crait. It says it right there. You can watch the saga, but don't watch it. That is the biggest bunch of bull caca I've ever heard. I think Mark Hamill just said that because they have no idea why he died. I mean, he was supposed to be the most powerful Force user in the galaxy at the time. And if he was the most powerful Force user in the galaxy, then that shouldn't have mattered where he projected himself. You know, as Obi-Wan said it, and I have the clip right here, the Force is what binds us, it surrounds us, it goes through us.
The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds the galaxy together.
So there's really no way you could become a crackhead on the Force by overdosing on the Force. That's the most ridiculous bullcaca I've ever heard. I just don't know what else to say. It totally blew me away when I see Mark Hamill saying that. I mean, okay, I'm sure, like I said, that Mark Hamill doesn't want to do any more Star Wars because it's owned by Disney and they just mess it up. But to say that he's now died from an overdose, I mean, it's just, Disney has like totally twisted the narrative of Star Wars. In Acolyte, they made it seem like the Sith were good and the Jedi were bad. I mean, and then now Luke Skywalker's OD'd on the Force? Come on now. Let's do better. Let's just do better. That's ridiculous. I don't understand it, and I'm really disappointed. First of all, that Mark is not going to be in any more of the Star Wars movies, and second of all, that they did away with Luke Skywalker. I mean, there was no reason. He was the number one Force user in the galaxy. I mean, the greatest one. He was even greater than his dad at that point. So it just makes no sense to me. Anyway, if you haven't seen my last video, I talk about how Mark Hamill broke my heart. Check it out. Give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't done so, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And remember, the Force will be with you always.